We're going to talk about a few things. Let me borrow Terry for a second. Terry, if we come over here. And this is just about managing energy. And the first part of managing energy is that there's a line within your body that you want to maintain in a vertical position at all times. And this line is defined on the top by a spot that goes right through the top of your head and extends upward into the sky. And at the bottom, it's defined as the midpoint between your rooted legs. And as this line connects, it forms almost a vertical line. We're going to talk more about that in just a second. This top point in Chinese literature, which is the internal arts, why don't you come a little closer with it? The top point is Bai Fun, okay, which means 100 rings. And to get an idea of what the Bai Fun is like, it's like you're suspended from the air by a string which is attached to the top of your head. It's just like you're a puppet hanging. And if you're hanging perfectly relaxed, your bottom point, which goes down to the spot between the anchored feet, will be directly beneath the spot at the top of your head. Okay? So, go ahead and back so you can give us a full body view right now of this. So, Terry is in a position where she just assumes what she thinks is the right posture. Okay. And she puts her arm out for me to push. Now again, she corrects her posture so that this is aligned with the points below. I push, but she still is not solid. And the reason she's not solid is because she's missing a third point, which we're going to talk about just briefly here. The third point is the center of your energy in your body. It has different names depending on who you talk to in the internal arts, but I refer to it as uqi. And in the front of your body you have the dantian, which is either 2 or 3 fingers below the navel, just depending on the person and whatnot. And on the rear side of that, direct opposite of the body, is the mingmen. Okay. 2/3 of the way from the front spot to the rear spot is the uqi in the center of your body. And that point is the third point that has to be on the same line from the point at the top of your head to the point between the feet. And there's a little bit of a trick to getting that, because to get that point, you have to sort of inflate the mingmen, which is the rear point, and in doing so, your pubic bone moves forward and your lower hips drive slightly forward, and that aligns the third point with the top point and the bottom point. So Terry's in front of me right now, and she takes the position she took a few minutes ago. She aligns the top point and then the bottom point and just inflates the mingmen. So she's got all 3 points in line, and now I exert pressure on her. She's solid. She's able to manage my energy. Okay, you can see the difference immediately. Now, if she takes one of the points off, even slightly, if her head tilts to the side, and if I apply pressure, her body moves in the direction that the line is leaning. Okay? If her head is tilted backwards a little bit, or if her head and uqi are lined up, but they're slightly back of the midpoint of the legs, and I push, she moves. Now that's a second important point here. When you're attacking balance in the internal arch, you'll see films of type Chi masters propelling people in the air, throwing them backwards, and like types of things. They're very sensitive to a person's balance, and they're very sensitive as to whether the person's 3 points are in line or not. and they immediately attack that as a weakness if they find or feel that the line is not true. So when Terry's here, and her top point and her center point are properly lined, but the bottom point is off, when I apply energy, it's almost like she goes airborne. It's magical. It's very, very powerful. Okay, so having said that, all of your movement, whatever style you're in or whatever martial art you practice, should have that focus. That there's this essential line within your body that's like a guitar string that's connected to the center of the earth, to the sky up above. And anything that hits that string is not going to detach the string because it's firmly rooted and firmly connected, and the string propels back whatever force is coming in. And when you develop that within yourself, it's just amazing the kind of add-on to your skill it provides. With respect to managing the energy, let's just take a situation where I want to perfect this skill. You have to do it in very slow, gradual steps. So Terry is going to do a slow load here. She's going to apply pressure. And as she applies pressure, I'm managing my line, my center, the whole time. And she's just keeping the pressure on, and I'm moving her back. Maybe I'm moving her in a circle, or she moves me in a circle. As she does it, I adjust my line so that it's always vertical and always true. And you can see when you do that, you have tremendous control over the force that's in. Now notice that I'm not stiff or rigid. You know, I'm soft, even though I'm full the whole time. You can see the control that I have over her. Okay, now, and with the camera, just focus on my feet briefly. Here's something else you need to be aware of. However your feet are positioned, you divide the space between the feet anchors into 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you have 4 cuts here. And you put number 1 at the front, annotating the front anchor. 2 is the end of the first section. 3, 4, and 5. So when you're managing your energy and managing the vertical line, at the earliest stages, you want to keep that vertical line between points 2 and points 4. Only the most skilled people could go to point 1 without losing balance or tilting forward, and only the most skilled can go to point 5 without tilting forward or losing balance to the rear. And when Terry's here, for example, she grasps my arm. If I want to empty her energy, I go from point 2 to point 4. Okay? Or if I want to take her energy and move her, I go from point 4 to point 2. And what you're learning to manage that line, popping it like the bow or the string of a bow and arrow. You coil it and you let it go. Or you pull it back and you take energy and then you coil it and let it go. That's the feeling that you have within your body. Okay, so these are just a few ideas to experiment with, to play with. Go ahead and try those out and see where they take you.